Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is the ongoing adventures of Azgaz the Tauren Druid. So, the last time we were playing, we went ahead and we did all of the opening quests here for the Tauren starting zone. And now we are going to be moving our way out of the starting zone and into our first, well, I guess, second village, and that's going to be Bloodhoof Village. So we're going to pick up a bunch of quests there. Alright, here we are moving into Bloodhoof Village. We've got quite a few quests to pick up here, but also we need to pick up our starting professions. And that's going to be leatherworking, skinning, and then of course first aid, cooking, and fishing. And here we have the original Bane Bloodhoof before he got his high-definition remodel. Sharing the land. There are many conflicts that wound this land. It is my hope that you will not bear witness to as many of them as I have. Yet there is one that I would ask you to seek out. It will give you some sense of how terrible, if left unchecked, even a small threat can be to the land. Pale Mane Knolls was settled in the south of Bloodhoof and in a cave to the west. They disrespect our attempts to communicate with them, and they slay the wildlife. Word from my good friend, Chief Hawkwind. Ah, I can see by the carvings you are of a good breed. The Right of Vision. One of the rights of the Earth Mother will help guide you toward earning the respect of the elders of Thunderbluff. Our people have learned that the land is our most holy provider. In order to take part in the ritualistic vision, you must speak with the spiritual leader of the village, Zarlman Two Moons. So, I guess we'll go talk to him next. Poison water. Goblins and their servants have tainted our sacred water wells. We cannot allow this. To cleanse each well, I must create a cleansing totem. Then you must bring the totem to the well and perform a cleansing ritual. First, we will create a cleansing totem for the Winterhoof water well. To do this, the land must offer its aid. Hunt prairie wolves for their paws, and adult plain striders for their talons. They are to the southwest. Alright, so we go hunt some animals, get some bits, make a totem. No big deal. And of course we need to head in here, make sure we set our hearthstone, and turn this quest in. Yes, young one? What can Koth do for you? The journey here from the Mesa can be a tremendous burden for some, but welcome sight for others. Which is it for you, I wonder? Ah, the furs I was expecting, thank you. These came faster than I had expected. They will make good blankets for anyone who wishes to stay here. Please feel free to stay as long as you like. My inn is always open, and to all of our people... Oh, I think I cut that last part out. It's all good. Well, let's move on. I sense you will be coming to me, Druid. I can always recognize one who is... In order to pass through the Right of Vision, you must gather the reagents needed to make the water of the seers. I will need wellstones, which can be found around the water wells in Mulgore. With those, I will combine ambercorn, which fall beneath the mighty trees in our land. These reagents contain magical elements, and when brewed and consumed before the tribal fire, will cause you to encounter a vision. Follow it, and it will lead you to the next step on this holy quest. Okay, so we have a handful of quests that we need to finish here. So what we gotta do is we need to kill a bunch of animals for their parts so we can make a token. And we also need to take care of some Pale Mane Knolls because they have been very naughty and are encroaching on our lands. And as well as that, we need to collect some items for the Water of the Seers, so that we can go on a vision quest. So we are taking skinning and leatherworking as our main professions for this run. I like to do skinning specifically because a lot of the time people will kill animals and not skin them, so it's pretty much like free profit for us. So what we're doing here is, because we got an additional enemy on us, we are completely ignoring the first guy and just applying some damage to the second guy, so that the other one leashes back and we don't have to deal with two enemies at the same time. And boom. Now, if that other guy was on us, it could have been pretty bad for us. Might have like ended our run right there. But thankfully, we don't have to worry about that, because we know how to disengage. And this is, unfortunately, the bad thing about playing a druid, is those first 10 levels are so painfully dull. So you just throw in Wrath, throw in Moonfires, and swinging your stick around. It's all you got. Until level 10, when you get your bear form. And then your gameplay is massively accelerated, because you're basically playing a protection warrior at that point. But then, again, at level 20, you get cat form, which basically makes you play like a rogue. And once you're there, your class is actually kind of fully unlocked, and you can just go about your merry as a cat rogue. But once you get there, though, it's like there's no stopping you. It's like you don't have to stop to drink. You might need to heal yourself every now and then, but aside from that, cat form is a zero downtime, like turbo grind. It's fantastic. But unfortunately, because of those first 10 levels, though, a lot of people never make it that far playing a druid. They get disenchanted with the idea very early. There's a lot of preemptive quit moments when it comes to druid, and that kind of led to a very disproportionate level of representation of druids in original vanilla. I'm not so sure that's the same story anymore, like with Classic, but in original vanilla back in 2005, 2006, druid was the bar none least represented class among the player base. And I think a lot of that had to do with how rough the first 20 levels of gameplay was. Oh, here come the Kodos. Oh, we got ourselves a little 6-slot bag. That's very nice. Skin this guy up. You see, this is something I really enjoy. I love seeing neutral wildlife just strolling through the plains, especially when it's these big, ground-shaking Kodo. It's just really cool to see. Got a little crit there. That's nice. It's too bad damage over time can't crit. That'd be pretty sweet. But back to what I was saying about professions. I like to go skinning and leatherworking, especially on classes that are leather wearers. It just makes it so much easier to fill in the gaps of your gear when you can craft your own materials. And just the fact that so many people kill just tons and tons of animals and just leave their corpses out there. It's basically free money being left on the table. So like often if I have a spare profession that I don't really have any use for, I'll just grab skinning just so I can get the free skins. Because even if you're not using the auction house, you can vendor a stack of light leather for a couple silver. And that's not nothing, especially in the early levels of the game. So if you're playing solo self-found, skinning might help you out. There is quite a bit of footage that I cut out of this video today. And most of that was just mindless grinding on mobs. I think I cut out like a total like 10 minutes of just monster killing gameplay. Which honestly I think was for the best. When I first started doing these videos, when I started this channel, I was just recording straight up raw gameplay footage and throwing it online. Because I didn't know how to edit anything. And over time, I've learned a little bit. I'm in no way like any kind of like editor at all, but I've learned how to trim clips down. I'm doing this voiceover recording right now because I was able to look up how to do it online, which is fantastic. Like you can find tutorials for literally anything online. YouTube is a great resource. But yeah, just learning little bits of editing here and there is helped me quite a bit. So hopefully I'm able to trim out a lot of the unnecessary fat from these videos going forward. Like, I like to trim out a lot of the senseless grinding and a lot of like the travel time between quest hubs and quest destinations, because I don't think there's like a whole lot of very interesting footage there. And, I mean, you're not missing out on anything by not seeing it. I'm not missing out on anything by having to try and fill that empty time with words. So, little by little, I'm working on my video making technique. So, hopefully it's doing better than when I first started. You'll have to let me know in the comments. Another interesting thing that I don't think I've really talked about is voiceover after the recording versus like live commentary as I'm playing the game. I wonder which is more well received. Like, would you want to have like the live reaction to when I'm playing the game? Or is the voiceover recording after the fact maybe a little bit better? I'm curious. Maybe someone will let me know in the comments. Now see, it's not that bad when you can shave off like half of a monster's health with range attacks before they even get to you. That's not too bad. I don't mind that at all. But it's when one of your spells gets resisted, that's when things might get a little hairy. Or also when additional monsters join the fray unexpectedly, and then you gotta run and reset. It is really nice, like, just like looking out here and seeing all these other players playing the game as well. Instead of like in retail when everyone's just sitting in town waiting for an activity queue to pop up for them. Instead, you're just out here. You're actually playing the game as it was intended. It's kind of a rare novelty these days. And I think part of what makes Classic special, actually going out and seeing a live, well-populated world to play in, kind of encourages you to keep playing. Well, looks like got some more prairie stalkers we need to knock out. I think we might be taking a break from our gnolls for the time being. Sometimes it's nice to vary the palette. The stalker is doing a number on me, though. One more parry, I might have died there. Good thing we have these nice heal over time spells, though. You can just pop a rejuve on and you're good to go. Important not to get overconfident, though. Overconfidence, more than anything else, is what gets people killed in hardcore. I mean, I've seen so many people just die at like level 5 or 6 just because they were a little bit too overconfident. Maybe they went into the wrong cave, pulled too many mobs, and just fell flat on their face as a result. Gotta knock this guy out. Get him before he pulls some friends. Got him. Got a lot of close calls in the early game. And not just for Druid, though. Like, a lot of people have close calls in the early game, mostly because when you're like sub-level 10, you just don't have access to all your skills. It's like your toolkit isn't fully realized yet. It's like you don't have your rooting effects, your stuns, or your slows. So the wrong enemy running the wrong way could end your run. Oh, and there's another guy popping up right there. But I think we're healthy enough to take on this guy. Look at all these happy Tauren out here. Just running around, beating up gnolls. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Just seeing all of these people out here playing the game. That's what you want to see. It reminds me of those moments when you're running to like your raid or your dungeon and you see like the rest of your group running alongside you on their mounts or flying to the destination on the flight path, and it's like a long line of like 20 griffins or wyverns. It's just cool to see, and being part of that is the coolest part. Ooh. Good thing we had that damage over time on him. And we need to run. I want to make sure we don't die here. Honestly, kind of surprised we did not die there. Exactly what I was talking about earlier, too. All these skins just laying on the ground. Easy money. Where are you running off to, little guy? Oh, looks like someone wants to play with me. Typically, when I'm playing hardcore, I like to play solo self-found. But if someone happens by and wants to play with me for a quest, I say why not? There's no rules against it. Now, if we were doing the community-driven hardcore rules, then we would not be doing this right now. But we're not doing that anymore, because now we have official hardcore servers, and all those extra superfluous rules don't really matter anymore. And sometimes maybe you just want to enjoy the company of another person around you while you do your questing. So I got no problem with it. And it makes grinding these guys out a little bit faster too, so can't really complain. It looks like we picked up a third player as well. Nice. Oh, you gained a level. That'll make things a little bit easier for him. Alright, that guy's gone. So just need a handful more of these gnolls, and we'll be done out here. A few things agitate me as much as gray weapons dropping off of mobs. I mean, this little level, you could at least give me like a white weapon to fight with. Just something to give me like a minor increase to my damage instead of just these useless gray items. You hate seeing it. So now typically, that would have been a moment where I would have ran for the hills. But since I have a group here with me, I don't have to be so afraid of it. Of course, make sure you keep healing yourself. Because after all, overconfidence is what gets you killed out here. It is nice having other people around you to take a little bit of the burden off you. Make the grinding a little bit faster. Get done and out of the quest. I wonder, how do you all feel about grouping up for stuff like this? Are you guys like horribly against it? Do you not care? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it ruins the spirit of the hardcore experience to group up with other people? I personally don't think so. Alright, just need one more Tanner, and then we are done out here. That's a Skinner. That's a Poacher. But it's in the way, so we'll knock it out. Oh, looks like he's done with his quest. Hopefully he doesn't just drop group and run off. Oh, and there's our Tanner though, so that's the last guy we need. But we also got a Poacher, so we gotta get rid of that as well. Can't just let it beat on us. Well, looks like they are staying at least long enough to get that done. Grateful. Just loot this guy, and I think it's time to move on. Time to hit the old dusty trail. Alright, now we just need to finish getting these animal parts so we can turn all these quests in. And do we get it? Is this it? It is. Alright, we got them all. Booyah. Let me just skin these guys up, and then we can head back to town. It is good you've taken my task seriously. Respect of the land and its creatures is important. Death and life are a circle, a necessity. One cannot exist without the other. Take time to ponder this. There are dwarves preparing a dig site to the northwest. They think secrets lie in the earth, and that is true. But hollowing and defiling the land is no way to earn his teachings. Collect the dwarven tools of digging, smash them, and return to me with the dwarves' broken tools. Yeah, I remember that quest. That quest is up in the mountains, just northwest of here. You've done well, Azgaz. I will take these and bind their power. I have crafted the totem to cleanse the Winterhoof water well. Now you must take it to the well and perform a cleansing ritual. You will find it to the southeast, guarded by foul goblins. Also, just those guys that we were just at. Once you've gathered enough wellstones from around the water wells and ambercorn from beneath the trees, I will prepare the water seers for you. I see you have learned to gather from our sacred land. It will take but a moment for me to brew the water of the seekers. Ooh, gain a level. When you're ready, consume the waters near the tribal fire. Once you have ingested the holy waters, it will take a few moments before the vision materializes before the fire. My grandfather told me stories about his battles with a strider named Mazaranash. He told me of his demonic red eyes, razor-sharp talons, and venomous bite. As fortune would have it, while traveling across the plains I encountered it, and it took a nasty bite from my shoulder. He was as terrible as my grandfather described. I will need some hard-to-find animal parts to clean the infection from his bite. Probably should have listened to grandfather and kept your distance from that guy. Ah well, maybe next time.